Hello, friends, and welcome back to the shop. Today is Sunday, September 7th, and it is a bleak, rainy fall morning here in southeastern Pennsylvania, but that's okay. Our spirits are up and we're good. Lots to talk about today. It's going to be an interesting one. Well, for some of you, it's going to be a boring one, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I have my olive wood pipe from Olive Wood Piper. Carl, I hope you're doing well. And I am smoking some Old Gallery, which is this month's Tobacco of the Month, chosen by you, the Friday Night Live stream viewers. That's never going to stop being funny to me. I'm sorry. Uh, and yeah, olive wood. This is the only olive wood pipe I own, and I love it. It really, really is. Well, let's say this. Burley loves olive wood, it seems. Burley's just come alive in this pipe for me. But Virginias do okay too. And we're not going to talk much about Old Gallery. We'll do that towards the end of the month when I can give you better impressions of it. But yeah, it's nice. So, wow, a lot been going on. My brother, I know you guys are probably going to ask. He's stable. Um, which isn't as good as it should be. Because we know that stability only will last for so long. But all stable right now. So just keeping a close eye on him and keeping in touch with him, and yeah. So thank you for all the prayers offered up last week. I really appreciate it. Please continue, and also continue to let me know what I can do for you in terms of prayer, because I'm always happy to do that, and I do it in general every day. But if there's specifics, let me know. Happy to include them. So there was a football game on Thursday night. Uh, Season starter game. Eagles played the Cowboys. Long time rivalry. I mean, I grew up hating Cowboys, and we'll get into that more later. But and I'm sure that there's Dallas fans that hate the Eagles. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, we sure don't like the Cowboys around these parts. And so when the game starts, kickoff, Cowboys receive, Cowboys get into their huddle, and the Eagles are there, and game hasn't really started yet. Just kick off, and uh, oh, the story that everyone's heard is that a member of the Eagles, Jalen Carter, spit on the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, and got ejected from the game, and that did happen. That definitely did happen, and what a horrible thing. What an absolutely disgusting, horrible thing. Unsportsmanlike conduct without any question. Um, and I, I'm sure Carter's going to be fined, that he deserves to be fined. I don't know if he deserved more than that. I mean, and I'll get into why. But he certainly deserved to be ejected from the game. No question about it. But, later in the game, so it was an interesting game because it was huge. Well, it wasn't interesting. It was boring. There was like an hour-long rain delay. Not rain, but lightning delay, which I don't remember the last time I've seen a lightning delay in a game, but I do believe it's happened. So yeah, they didn't play for an hour, and I went off and watched something else, and then came back, and it was just like 10 minutes before they were going to restart play, and they showed the footage from a different angle, and it turns out that what actually happens is that they're yelling back and forth between the teams, probably talking about the weather, or did you see that new Netflix show, or things. I'm sure it was all genteel conversation. And Prescott is yelling something, so the Dallas quarterback is yelling something and walking to the edge of his huddle, so the ring of guys around him. And he actually walks up to a break between two guys, and he spits in the direction of Jalen Carter. and Jalen and they're walking together, right? So Carter is getting closer and closer as this happens, and then Carter reciprocates. And because of the proximity, Carter hit him. Again, absolute disgusting behavior, deserves ejection. But it was triggered. The reason he did it was very clearly that Prescott spat in his direction. So should we have ejected Prescott? Should we fine him? Should he get a suspension? I don't know. He caused the event. He and I think it was calculated. I think it was let's get one of their players out. Let's get him to do something. And he was probably expecting a push, or at least we got off easy. Um, didn't help him. They still lost. Now you are not going to find an Eagles fan that says that Jalen Carter deserved suspension. I'm being like overly reasonable about this because I know in my heart that he does. Um, but I want to say no. I want to say he should have done that because it's the Cowboys. There's not an Eagles fan that wouldn't, in the same situation, probably have done it. Well, is that true? So let me back up on that for a minute. So I was raised to believe that the Cowboys were the ultimate evil. And for a long time throughout the U.S., they were kind of viewed that way. There was a saying that any Cowboy fan that lives outside of Dallas is a sign of bad parenting. And yeah, we believed that. Now, in recent years, that for a while the Patriots took that national focus off of them, and everybody had wanted to hate the Patriots for a while, because whoever's you know the stringing together wins like that deserves the ire of the country. And being a little facetious here, except for back when it was the Steelers in the '70s, that was different. Um, of course, now we've got the Chiefs to hate, and that takes some of the pressure off the Cowboys. But we shouldn't let them off too easy. They are still horrible, horrible people, and deserve our ire. So, by the way, Eagles will beat the Chiefs next week to boost the national morale around this. So this spitting event will be completely forgotten next week when we beat the Chiefs. But to get back to the spitting. So I grew up in that environment of, Cowboys are the ultimate evil. Can't stand them. I said any fan given the chance would spit on Dak Prescott. Is that true? No. Would I put myself in Jalen Carter's position? Would I have done that? And no, I wouldn't have done that. But I would have done a lot of things in Jalen Carter's position because I'm not him. I'm not a 20-something-year-old, 300-pound pile of pure muscle that's probably spent the last 2 or 3 hours listening to intense music and getting pumped up to go to battle, to go into war. I mean, that's what these guys are doing. Uh, you know, 20-something-year-old, your brain's barely been formed, and you're basically being told to get out there and kill, and somebody spits in your direction and maybe says something implicating your mother in something, you're gonna be. If I was in that situation and I was that thing, I think it would have been a lot worse than spitting. So, yeah, whose fault is this? Is it the fault of Jalen Carter for what he did? Well, most certainly. I mean, he did it, right? But was it the fault of Dak Prescott for instigating it? He played a role. If you shoot at me and miss, I'm allowed to shoot you, right? And I know it's more nuanced than that, but why was Carter in that state that I just described? Why was he hyped up to the point where he thought that was an okay thing to do. Well, because that's what we pay him to do. Because that's why we watch. We want to see this. We want to see them attacking one another. We want to see essentially a gladiatorial match. This is a violent game. And I love it. You know, I love every aspect of it, and I will watch it. But we shouldn't be too surprised when our creations get a little out of control, because we created that. We created that situation. We created that reaction. It doesn't relieve him of responsibility, but it does sort of mitigate the level of repercussion, I think. So Jalen Carter guilty of spitting, Dak Prescott guilty of being a cowboy, and the rest of us guilty of enjoying it and spending this much time talking about it. Yeah, that's what I think we should. That's what I think we should be thinking, or how we should be thinking about it. And there you have it. My thoughts on that thing that happened. I know a fair number of you are not football fans. Some of you are soccer fans and think you're football fans, but you're not. You're non-American football fans. That's what that game is called. I really hope my sense of humor is coming through today. Otherwise, I'm gonna see my subscriber number plunge. Uh, Now, where the problem does lie, and it is a real problem, is that kids watch this, and kids. I remember being a kid playing touch football on the tarmac, outside. Many skinned elbows and knees because of that, because we didn't touch very gently. If there was even like a quarter inch of snow, we went full tackle because that cushioned it. And I remember acting out everything we'd see during Sunday football. I mean, everything, um, good and the bad. And this is kids look up to these folks for better or worse. But I really don't think you can point a finger at that one person and say, you're bad for doing this. Now, maybe if they're a repeat offender, maybe if they've done it, 4 times or something like that. Yeah. Well, maybe even twice. I mean, if you don't learn your lesson from once. Oh, by the way, something I left out. Prescott said that the reason he spit wasn't to offend Jalen Carter. He just had to spit. I honestly don't recall ever having to spit. Unless, like, I accidentally drank the wrong thing or something. Maybe. Depends on what the wrong thing was, I suppose. But yeah, I don't think I've ever had to spit. But it happens a lot. Baseball is no exception. There's a lot of fluids flying around on a baseball field. It's kind of gross when you think about it. But yeah, I don't think we can point the finger at that one individual unless he's a serial offender. I think we really need to point the finger at the folks that pay him to behave in that way. And that's really what we're doing. We're saying, get out there and just give us raw animal. But hey, don't cross that line. That line's going to get crossed. That line's going to get crossed. And when our kids see it, they're going to be influenced by it. puts me in a bit of a quandary because I don't want to change it, but I also don't want to see the negative impact of it. I believe that's called being hypocritical. I think that's what I just did, yeah. But, you know, to quote one of the greatest philosophers that ever lived, I am what I am. Somebody will get that joke. All right, folks. So today, not a lot going on. I mean, I got a little bit of household stuff to do. I'm probably going to spend some time down here doing some pipe stuff. Yesterday was fun. I made ground cherry jam, which I enjoy making every year. The ground cherries are wonderful. If you don't know what they are, look them up. They're delicious, and they make a wonderful jam. And I don't go through the whole canning thing or anything. We made 2 jars of it. We'll keep it in the fridge. It's got enough sugar in it that it, easily will last a year. And yeah, just really, really fun to do that. So that's done, and yeah, like I said, today mostly just going to be doing some stuff down here in the shop, getting some household chores done, and getting ready to go back to the grind tomorrow. Watch the snowfall. The snowfall? No. Watch the rainfall. I hope there's not snow falling. That'd be bad. Snow in September, not a good thing in these parts. This is nice. I'm enjoying this. Anyway, I'll talk more about the tobacco, but I'm enjoying it, and it's really coming out nice in this pipe. Get yourself an olivewood pipe. I don't know if Carl's still making them. He's still active on Instagram, but I haven't seen him post a pipe picture in a while that I'm aware of. I don't look at Instagram every day, so he might be posting them all the time. But yeah, find an olivewood pipe. They're really, I think everybody should have at least one olivewood pipe. Everybody should have at least one corncob pipe. I could take or leave me or something. Make your own call on that. And then the rest should all be Briar, because Briar is the best. There, that was opinionated, wasn't it? This whole thing was a big pile of opinion. And I'm going to draw it to a close before I go off on another rambling direction. So I hope you all have a fantastic Sunday. You're looking forward to a great week ahead. And until we speak again, I will look forward to talking to you all again very soon. Goodbye now.